Hi and good morning. It's another day on the road. I'm headed to Dwarka, but this time I veered off the highway and I took a route that said it's going to be about 49 minutes slower. And now it's taking me through villages, through farmland, through coconut groves, as you can see right in front. And when you have time, I guess the best way to travel by road is go through these village roads. Now these roads are fabulous. It's just one lane, but they're fully concrete. So they're really great roads here in coastal Gujarat, in Saurashtra. And the goal is to reach the sunset in Dwarka tonight, or this evening, by 6:15 at least. So let's see what happens along the way. I don't know what terrain I'm going to encounter. Am I getting on the highway? Is Google going to continue to keep me in rural roads? Either way, I'm up for the adventure. Stay tuned. It's about 37 degrees outside right now, and it's 11:31 in the morning. And temperatures go up to 40-41 by the time you get into the day. There's a peaceful coexistence here with everybody using the road. There's no need to get frustrated, road rage, none of that. It's just so peaceful. Everyone does it knowing the constraints. If only we could follow this in cities, we'd have a much better time living in there. If you ask me, civilization is inversely proportional to education. The more educated you are, the more of an ego you have, that you believe that you have entitlement, or the money that comes with it, or whatever, you know. But here, no such thing. Hi, so we've taken this route that's not the highway, but it's a state highway. This is closer to the ocean and also goes through a lot of population, which is why it's going to take me an extra hour to get to the destination that I have chosen for tonight, which is Dwarka. And this route actually hugs the ocean a lot more than the highway does. So I'm looking forward to seeing some really good views, and I'm going to show it to you. Stay with me. I've stayed behind this lorry way too long, but the views should start now. According to the map, I'm going to be hugging the ocean, and there's the beach right on my left. Now this is the money shot. There you go. Now this road sticks with the ocean, and there's that beach. Now imagine if I would just, park for the night over here, put my tent up, and wake up to that green-blue ocean, the Indian Ocean. This is why I wanted to come to Gujarat as well. This state has finally, this is the one state that I've seen that understands tourism, that understands the idea of working with development and staying with nature together. World over, we've got all of these lovely coastal drives, and India's got more coast than anything else. If only we had a road going around it, you could imagine the tourist activity that would be going on just because of that, including from outside this country. But for now, let's just enjoy this view. How beautiful is that? In fact, I'm going to slow it down right now, and I'm going to go Facebook Live and show everyone where they need to come, perhaps in better weather. Now look at that. That's how close. That's the edge of my car, and I walk down into the beach, and there's the road right there. So you see this highway, and I'm actually taking that side road that goes off to Porbandar. I've heard of Porbandar so much in school that Mahatma Gandhi and all of that story. So I found this little trail right here, and I'm just going to take that trail, turn off into this, and straight out there. it looks like it's going to end up in the ocean. And I'm just going to give it a shot. I'm going to try that. Okay, so come with me. This obviously looks like a cobblestone path. Either the government or it's some private, so we'll find out the hard way or the easy way. But there's lots of these little roads that go off towards the ocean from that highway. And I was just always curious about where these roads lead to. I could see the ocean, so it must be just to the ocean. I see tracks. Now my next concern would always be, do I have enough place to turn around without getting myself stuck? Because if I get myself stuck here in the sand, there's no one here to bail me out. Now obviously these are tractors that have enough of a grip. Now I'm going to put myself into four-wheel high just in case I need some traction. I see a lot of excavations here, so it must be the sand mafia that comes through. And I need to just turn around. Oh, please don't get stuck. You know, if I get stuck, you know what's going to happen? I've got to air down and do all of that stuff because this car is sort of heavy. These are some graveyards. I see some tombs here. But I also see a trail, a vehicle trail that's going somewhere. And I'm taking you there with me. There is enough room to turn around, which is good, but look at all these excavations. So it looks to me like this is a tractor that comes here, fills up the sand, and goes and sells it in the market for construction sites. Well, so much for that. I don't want to veer away from the track because as flat as it looks, undisturbed sand could be pretty deep. And I have been stuck in these before, and that doesn't look, it's not very pretty when that happens. But pretty much you could just go anywhere here and just camp. So I am going into undisturbed sand. Let's hope I'm not going to get stuck. But this would be a perfect camp spot. Here's where I'm well off the highway, and that's my view from the windscreen, and that would be my view from the penthouse as well, because there's a window right there looking out. If you actually see the trees, these are pine trees. You'd think in a hot state like Gujarat where there's desert, just on the periphery of the Thar desert, just on the neighborhood of Rajasthan, pine trees. But I do see some pine trees even on the beaches of Visakhapatnam, if I actually remember correctly. Maybe pine and sand have something to do with each other. I'll leave a botanist or an environmentalist or an expert like that to comment, but I'm surprised, and I'm pleasantly surprised. Love how it works. Now we're back into the open, heading towards Porbandar. And here's some blue lagoons. Just look at the color of that water. And there's the sand dunes and the sea and the ocean just on the other side. So I'm thinking we're probably below sea level right now. And those sand dunes are the ones that are keeping the water away from flooding all of this part. One tsunami and that can change, but look at the color of that water. Unbelievable. Look at this. Obviously I'm going off-road. Always a risk when I do that. Look at all these migrating birds feeding off. I don't know if this is fresh water or salt water. Only way to find out is to go and taste it. But I'm not going to do it. I'm quite happy just looking at the water. I somehow get a sense of calmness when I see water. Not that I'm a swimmer, It's not like I love to be in it, but I just love looking at it. And this turning around will put me back on the highway. And right across from me is a party hall, marriage center, convention hall, whatever you want to call it. Back on the road, see what else I'll see. So here's me now driving through the city of Porbandar. It's actually quite a nice town. It has this old world charm to it, but everywhere in India is dusty. Other than that, it's got some really nice old homes. I just passed them. I wish I could show that to you, but I just passed them and I don't like turning back. But trust me when I say that they've got these really nice, big, huge, massive colonial homes that they've restored, and it looks fabulous. These small little streets. Look at this building right in front. This looks pretty old too. Now, if you had gone to where that Mardi Gras thing happens, where's that? Bummer. Why is that not coming in my head? New Orleans. When you go into New Orleans, you have buildings like this, but they're so well done up and lit that every street looks unique. And we have that characteristic in this town, in Porbandar. It is a coastal town just like New Orleans, and all we need to do is just direct the Gujarat government to subsidize people keeping their outsides nice and vibrant, and that in itself is attractive. And I keep saying Gujarat government because somehow I think they're listening, or they know what they're doing. Other tourism departments are either clueless or they just don't have the political will to want to do something. Now here's a bridge that we're going to cross. So obviously there's a lot of backwaters in this area, very dirty backwaters. This bridge on the other, if I look on either side of it, is something that I would love to have blinders on. I just don't want to see it. We also have those parts, but and in the far left, I would say about 2 o'clock, if where I'm pointing is 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock on my right, you'll see some of these old buildings. But we're not going there. Now, had I just taken the highway, I would have just not been coming into Porbandar from what I'm seeing. If I just stuck to the original route Google was going to take me, it would have been all highway, but I decided to take the slower route through small villages, towns and cities. That put me onto that coastal road and also brought me through the town of Porbandar. And when you overland, that's really what you need to look for. If you have the time, that is, and you should have the time when you're trying to overland. The fact that my car has all the markings of organ donation, so in a very, very basic way, people are turning around and looking at the car, which is what the intended purpose was. And when they do, they read what's on it. It's big, bold letters in Hindi and in English, talking about just organ donation, that one must consider that. So the mission is getting the attention anyway. Of course, I would love to speak to them face to face, but those opportunities are coming in at good pace. I'm not complaining. A lot of you are helping, which is superb. Anyway, we're heading out of Porbandar now, and we're back on the road. So I'm heading close to Dwarka now, less than about 60 kilometers away. And look at these roads. I cannot believe that India has come of age. I'm so proud. अब ऐसा लगता है कि ऐसे रोड में गाड़ी चलाते चलाते गाना गाने लगूं, और इतने गाने याद आते हैं कि क्या पूछो, बोलो। मुसाफिर हूँ यारो, ना घर है ना ठिकाना, मुझे चलते जाना है, बस चलते जाना। अब ये गाना क्या बैठता है इस हाईवे पे। On my left is the ocean, सामने खुली रास्ता, मैं तो चला जिधर चले रास्ता, ओ मैं तो चला जिधर चले रास्ता, मुझे क्या खबर है कहाँ मेरी मंजिल, होगा कोई मेरा भी साथी। अब इतनी हिम्मत गाने की कैसे आई है? बस ऐसे ही है, माहौल ऐसा है, सुर के आसपास हूँ तो भी क्या फर्क पड़ता है, बस। So we've come to a point on the highway that comes closest to the ocean. Now this is a world-class highway, as you can see. I've driven almost 41, 42, 43 countries, including India. And the highway quality is just fabulous. Anyway, that aside, but here's the closest point. Now if you see, those are the sand dunes. On the other side is the ocean. Of course, there is a park. If one would like to go there and do an evening or a whole day based on what the weather is like. There's off-roading possible on the side. I'm sure it's not going to be looked upon very well if the authorities kind of take a look, but you know, there's nobody here. So कभी-कभी लाइफ में थोड़ा चांस भी लेना चाहिए, अगर लेना चाह रहे तो। Of course मैं तो चांस नहीं लूँगा, फिर कभी। And as I drive on my right, there's hectares and hectares of salt mines. बस सफ़ेद ही सफ़ेद। तो दुनिया भर का नमक शायद वहीं से आता होगा, अगर दुनिया भर की नहीं तो देश भर का नमक। तो I'm thinking रण तो यहाँ भी हो सकता है, पर थोड़ा डीप है शायद। I'm driving towards the Run of Kutch. Gujarat has the greater Run of Kutch, that GRK, and the lower Run of Kutch, which is the LRK. बस एक इच्छा है कि रन पे गाड़ी चलाएं और मैं उसमें डूब ना जाऊं. Because last time we tried to take Gulfie on the run. I don't know if you remember, but I will try and post a video of that. And that Gulfie so badly got stuck in the last time we did Drive India कि निकालते निकालते हमारी तो हड्डी पसली हो गई. So since I reached early, I thought I'll go all the way to the tip, which is a place called Oka. I'm passing a place called Mithapur now, where the Tata chemical plant is. And this whole area just looks so industrial. I mean, I'm guessing everybody that lives here works for the Tata solar power plant, which was on my left when I passed it, and on the right that I passed was the Tata Chemicals division. And obviously the truck traffic is just huge. This place looks so industrial. I mean, not to sound like a snob or anything, but it does. Now, I don't know what Oka is going to be like, but I'd like to get to Oka, take a look, and come right back into Dwarka. There is something called the Sunset Point, or there's a beach on the way that's supposedly really cool. So maybe I'll stop there and then watch my sunset. That's the plan, and hopefully I'll show you that sunset right after this video, because all of these videos are going to be strewn together to make one video. Look at that truck. That was a close call, folks. Now these are people just drive without a license, or if they've got a license they really don't know how to drive, frankly. And that's what driving in India is about. You'll never fall asleep. You cannot afford to fall asleep on the wheel, unlike other places where that happens quite often. Yeah, we've got our camel carts. So somebody had told me to go visit Mitapur. I did. Not impressed. Or at least I'm in the armpit of that. There must be nicer places. I don't know, but you kind of get a drift of how a place is going to be when you know what the two sides of the highway look like. Not impressed. So Oka, here we come. So we're passing Oka, we're getting to Oka actually, and if you look at these boats on the side here, these are just big fishing boats that are dry docked. They look like they are operational, but they are not. There's no water anywhere near them unless they wait for the high tide to show up. So here we are in Dwarka, and this is what they call Sunset Point. I basically drove my car into this place where I guess no one else does, and I'm not sure how long I can stay here before the authorities discover that I'm doing this and shoo me out and boot me out of here. All I want to do is watch the sunset. I'm not sure if that's a crime yet, but I'll stay here as long as I can, and that's where the sun is at this point. It's going to be a while. So I'm pretty much going to camp here and say goodbye to this day and look forward to new beginnings tomorrow.